even more dark. All right, welcome everybody to Wednesday Night Yin. All right, everybody in the studio here is on their back. It's good, I can pat my feet, the lights on. But we're gonna lie here on our back, and we're gonna take our first few moments just to arrive. Around this way so I can see. Let your focus come to your breath. Let it push all of those other distractions out. Maybe easy when you're lying still here, right? To let your mind wander to all the things that happened today. Maybe easy to let your mind wander to all the things that are going to happen tomorrow or that still have to happen tonight. Try to keep yourself grounded here in the present moment. We do that by keeping our focus on our breath. Let your breath guide you, ground you to your mat. Let it push all those other distractions to the background. So you're focused on your practice, like we just talked about, right? You're present to your practice. Now when you feel like you're ready to start moving here, take your knees, bring them in to your chest. Just going to rock from side to side a couple times. We're going to bring ourselves up to seated here in a second. So use this time while you're still on your back to wake up your spine a little bit. And when you're ready, just bring your hands to the crease of your knees. Rock yourself up here. We're just going to rock up into an easy sit at first, right? So you're going to crisscross your feet. Doesn't matter which leg you put in front. We're going to sit up nice and tall. And then from here, we're going to do some hip circles to open up. So you're going to take your hands to your knees. Just lean forward here, right? So you're leaning. And then you're going to push into your left knee, so you're pushing yourself over to the right, lean back, come to the left and back around. So you're just circling around. If you want the other way, it doesn't really matter. We're going to go both ways. Just do 3 or 4 more circles here. Letting those hips and that spine start to wake up a little more. And next time you're leaning all the way forward, just take a pause there and then go the other way. Push yourself over to the left, lean back, come to the right and around. And eventually, when you're leaning all the way forward, come to a stop. Now push yourself up here. We're just going to take our hands up to the sky. We're going to do this once with each leg in front. So right now we've got our more comfortable leg in front, right? Reach your hands up to the ceiling. Sweep them back around so they come behind you, right? Fingertips are pointed towards your wrists. And then lean back, pull your shoulder blades together. Open up with your chest. If you want to push your hips up and lift them off the mat, go for it, right? Makes it a little more intense, but you don't have to. And then we're going to drop it back down. And we're going to bring our hands all the way up. Now we're just going to fold forward here. So you're going to bring your hands straight in front of you, drop them down in front of your shins, and walk it as far forward as you can. Now you want to keep those cheeks, right, on the mat. So maybe that just means that you barely brought your hands in front of your shins. Maybe it means you walked all the way forward and you get those elbows down to the mat. Maybe it means you got your chest and head down to the mat. You want to feel that pull in your hips. That's what we're going for here. Now come back up here. And now as we come back up, now we're going to switch our legs. You're going to bring your opposite leg in front, all right? So same thing, you're going to bring your hands over here, sweep them back behind you. Right? Put your hands on the ground, pull your shoulder blades together, open your chest. If you want to push into those palms, push into those knees and lift the hips, you can. Again, that's not required. You can keep your hips down on the ground if you want. If you're pulling your shoulder blades together, opening your chest, either way. Just take 2 or 3 breaths here. And then let your hips come down. If you brought them up, everybody's going to come. You're going to bring your hands up overhead. And then from here, we're going to fold forward. So you're just bringing your hands out in front, walking it as far forward as you can, keeping those hips on the ground. Now it's going to feel different here with your awkward leg in front, right? Probably a little tighter. You're not going as deep. That's okay. You don't have to. You want those hips to stay on the ground. You want to feel that pull in them. Feel more intense here. That's all right. All right, now you're going to bring it back up here, nice and slow. All right, now we're going to come around into tabletop. So that's our hands and knees pose. And once you get up to tabletop, now if you need a blanket or something underneath your knees, right, put it there. All right, so we're here in our tabletop. Right, you're just going to sway your hips from side to side. Bump your hips over to the right and look over your right shoulder. And then bump your hips over to the left, look over your left shoulder. And just do that back and forth a couple times, each way. And then eventually we're going to come to a stop. Now from here, we're going to come into a fold thread the needle. So as you inhale, you're going to lift your right arm up to the sky. So you're just opening up, right? Then as you exhale, take those right fingertips, dive them underneath your left armpit. You're gonna let your right shoulder come all the way to the ground. Let the right side of your head come to the ground. All right, so we're staying here in the full pose. That's the great thing about Yin, right? So with your left hand, either you're gonna reach it forward towards the top of your mat. Just trying to look and see what it looks like here. Right, opening up your chest, or maybe you take that left hand and you wrap it around behind your back, reaching towards your right inner thigh. Maybe you want to step out with that left foot. Step that left foot straight out so that your fingertips are reaching towards your left foot. Now maybe you keep that left foot on the ground with your toes going towards the front of the room. Maybe you lift that heel and turn those left toes towards your right fingertips. Maybe you don't want to use your left leg at all. You keep that left knee tucked in. That's fine too. I'm just doing each of these poses for a few minutes, so you guys stay right there. And come out so I can look at you, see what you're doing. I like it when I can look up and see all the different variations that people are taking. And it tells me that when I see all the different variations, that you're listening to your body. You're not just doing what your neighbor's doing. You're doing what your body's feeling. And when you're ready to come out of this, you're going to come out of it the same way. You stepped your left foot out, step it back in. Draw your left hand back by your face. Push into your left hand and open it back up. Open that right hand back up to the sky. Now you're going to drop that right hand down, come back to tabletop. And then we're just going to go right in to the other side. So this time you're going to take your left hand, reach it up to the sky, and then as you exhale, dive those left fingertips underneath your right armpit. Let your left shoulder come down to the mat. Let the left side of your head come down to the mat. And again here, you take your right hand. Either you're going to walk it forward, reach it towards the front of the room, or you can take it and wrap it around behind your back, reaching those right fingertips towards your left inner thigh. Now if you want to step out with your right foot, you can. You step that right foot out, right? So either, like I have right now, your toes are pointed towards the front of the room, your foot's flat, or you turn that foot so your heel's lifted and your toes point towards your left fingertips. Right? Or you don't even add your right foot at all if you don't want to. Keep it tucked in. Totally up to you. And I'm going to rise up. Look at everybody here. It's okay if you take the first minute or so to kind of settle in. Find your version. Once you've found your spot, you can be still. Right? That's where you want to be still. Just let yourself stay there. Resist the urge to fidget just for fidgeting's sake. Every movement, if you have to make one, should be deliberate. Now when you're ready to come out of this, right, you're going to step your right foot back in if you stepped it out. Bring that right hand back by your face. Use it to push yourself up and thread that left arm and open it back up. And then drop it back down into your tabletop. All right, now from our tabletop here, move way back here, we're going to come into a Sphinx pose, right? So that means you're letting your belly come down to the mat. My legs are long behind me. I know you can't see them on camera, right? But I'm taking my arms right here now. I'm propping myself up on my forearms, looking straight ahead. Your palms are flat to the mat, shoulders right over the elbows. Now we're only going to stay here for about a minute, right? We're going to come back. Okay, we'll come to Sphinx. We'll stay here for a minute. We're going to do something else for a minute or two. We'll come back to Sphinx. We'll do it for another minute. We'll do something else for a minute or two. We'll come back to Sphinx. So you get lots of chances at Sphinx tonight, right? Maybe each time it starts to feel like you can go a little deeper. You can really start to push into those forearms, lift your chest higher, even come into seal, which is where you press your palms into the mat and lift up, right? Maybe that's something you do on the third time. Maybe you're feeling good now and you want to do it now. Maybe by the third time you'll be moving your elbows way in front of you and letting your belly flop down, and that'll be okay too, right? Something to notice about yourself. Does your back feel stronger as you work it more, or does it start to feel weaker as you work it more? More breaths here. Now, what we're going to do from here, you're going to roll yourself over onto your right hip, all right? And then as we roll over onto the right hip, now you're going to prop yourself up on your right forearm, right? And your legs are long. So like this. Now, I'm pushing myself up. I'm trying to create the space right here. So this is where we're going to hold for a minute Now your left hand's going to come in front of you, right? So it's going to take a little bit of your weight, right? So that if you want to, you can press into that right palm and lift your right elbow up off the mat. And you just look like this, right? And again, this part of your body is what we're trying to open up, right? So lengthen that out. Maybe it means you need to take your right arm further away. Maybe it means you bring it closer in. Use that left hand to take some of the weight, right? So you can get that bigger angle. If you need to, you're just down here on your right forearm. We're just going to stay here for a minute. See what I'm doing. Again, be here. Be here if that feels good. About 5 more breaths here. Slowly, if you lift it up on that right palm, let that right elbow come back down. Then you're going to roll back over onto your belly. You're going to bring it back into Sphinx for the second time. Yeah, maybe this time you want to push it up to seal. Maybe you pushed it up to seal last time, and this time you want to stay here. If it ever gets to be too much in your back, like so your option is always to move your elbows a little bit more forward, right? So that your shoulders are back behind your elbows and let a little more of your belly come to the mat. That takes pressure off your back. All right, now from here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll over on to the left side. So you're rolling over onto your left hip. Again, just start by propping yourself up with that left forearm, right? And then you're going to bring your right hand in front of you to prop you up. Trying to create that space right here along your left side body. Right? So maybe it's here. Take your right hand in front of you so your right hand can take some weight. Right? And then maybe you press into that left hand. Push yourself all the way up to create a little more space. If you want to stay down on your elbow, stay down on your elbow. 4 more breaths. And we're going to roll back onto our belly. So one last time in Sphinx, right? Maybe you slide those elbows a little bit more forward. Maybe you're feeling energized now and you want to come up to the ceiling. It's all what your body needs, not what everybody else is doing. Now, from here, let your forehead tap down to the mat. Pull your hands by your chest. And then from here, we're going to push ourselves all the way back into child's pose. Let your hips come over your heels. Take your arms out long. Let your forehead come down to the mat. All right, so we're going to stay in child's pose for a couple minutes here. If you want to, you can take your legs super wide so that your belly comes between your knees. If it feels better to you to keep your knees close together and let your belly rest on top of your thighs, you can do that. You want to let your forehead come to the ground. If it's not naturally coming to the ground, so you always have the option to grab a block and let the block come under your forehead. Look at this in your child's pose. Just your head has somewhere to rest. Ready? Slowly make your way back up here. And we're coming up to seated, and then we're going to let our hips come to one side or the other. Right? And we're just going to go from here. We're going to come either into a bound ankle or into full turtle. Right? So you're sitting up, bringing the soles of your feet together. Sitting up tall here. Right now, if you want to, you just start to walk your hands forward. Bring that chest right through between your knees, right? If you want to come to full turtle, you slide your hands underneath your ankles. Wrap your hands around your ankles from the outside. Tuck your chin to your chest and drive your forehead towards your knees, right? So in the turtle, you round out, right? If you're just in that straight bound ankle, you're just keeping your back flat, walking your chest forward, right? Sometimes in turtle, I like to use the block and put it on top of my feet. If I do that, and I get it right, I can let my head rest on the block, and again, it's supported. If you don't have to do that, just an option, if you like turtle. If you want to sit up just nice and tall, like there's a string on top of your head the whole time, without leaning forward, without coming to turtle, you can do that. You have plenty of time here. We're taking 3 minutes here. If you need to support underneath your knees with a block, with a bolster, you can do that. All different variations. Start to feel the sensation in the legs, right? That's mostly what this is for. Everything else kind of extra. So, if you need more sensation in your legs, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing turtle, or you're sitting up tall, or you're folding forward, you start to draw those heels in closer to your body, right? That gives more sensation in the legs. If you want to back it off, push those heels further away from your body, make more of a diamond shape. Let your legs relax a little bit more. What does your body need? About 5 more breaths here. Slowly going to peel up, right? You're going to extend your legs long in front of you here, sitting up tall. And we're just going to go into a basic seated forward fold from here, right? So that means you take your hands up to the sky, turn your palms towards the top of your mat, make that C curve in your spine as you reach towards your toes. Now maybe you naturally grab your toes. If you do, that's great, right? But Maybe your hands just land on your ankles, your shins, your knees. That's okay too. But we're keeping the back nice and flat. It's Yin. So we're trying to relax into it, to sink into it so we can hold it for several minutes, right? So if you're reaching and you're grabbing for your toes and you're yanking to get there, right? After a minute or so, your body's going to know, right? That you forced your way into it. Don't force your way into it. Just let yourself gradually, let yourself come to wherever you're going to come, and then maybe gradually walk a little bit deeper as we're in the pose. If you need to put a little bend in your knees, that's okay, right? If you're feeling a lot of pressure in your low back, that's what you should do. Now we're going to slowly peel up here. All right, as we peel up here, now you're going to keep your right foot forward, right? And bend into your left knee. So just put that left knee, or that left foot, flat on the ground, inside your right thigh, right? Now we do this as part of our flow Saturday, those of you who are here, right? But we're going to do it here. We're not going to hold this long for this part, right? You're just going to take your hands up to the sky and then reach toward your right toes. Now you're not going to reach them, right? You see how it feels different from when you do the full forward fold. It's okay, your hands can land on your ankle or your knee. We're not taking even a minute here. Your hands should be, both arms should be inside the left knee. Right, as you reach, you're just folding over your right leg, so you're kind of angling your torso there. Just take 4 more breaths here. Now, let yourself peel all the way up. Now, as you peel up here, right, you're going to lean way over to the left, right? So your right hip might even lift up off the mat. 2 blocks here, right? So I want you to lean over to the left until your left knee comes to the ground. See my right hip lifted up. Now I'm going to bend into my right knee, bring my right knee to the sole of the left foot, right? So now I'm in this deer position. I'm going to angle myself here so everybody can see. Then I'm going to bring my hands in front of my left shin, in between my left ankle and my left knee, and all you're going to do is walk it out here. Basic deer pose. Right, maybe that just means you barely get your fingertips in front of your shins. Some of you can get down to your elbows, some of you can get all the way down to your chest and your head. You can always use a block, a bolster, whatever you have handy. Right? Make it a landing point for your elbows, your head, your hands. Here we are going to stay a little bit longer. Should feel okay. If not, make it feel okay, right? Don't be somewhere where you're so uncomfortable that you can't stay still. Now, if there's some sensation coming at you, that's good. And yet, right? We want a little sensation coming at us. But you don't want so much that you can't stay in the pose. That's where that body awareness comes in. That's what Yin can teach you. When you're ready, you're going to make your way up here, right? And we're going to do both those things on the other side. So here, right, you're going to extend your left leg all the way long, right? Knees left so you can take that right foot around. You're just going to plant that right foot inside your left thigh. Bring both hands up to the sky and fold over your left leg. Both hands are to the inside of your right knee. Kind of squeezing that right knee in towards your right shoulder as you reach towards your left toes. Most of us probably not going to get there. Let's just take 5 more breaths here. So peel it back up here. Right now, so peel it all the way up here. Now we're going to come to that deer pose on the other side. So you're going to lean way over to the right. Let that right knee come to the ground. Your left hip might peel up, and that's okay. Next, we're going to bend into the left knee. You're going to bring the left knee against the sole of the right foot. And then bring both your hands in front of your right shin, in between your right knee and your right ankle. And just walk it forward. And you can use your block. You can use your bolster. You can use your blanket. Now slowly come back up. All right, and then from here, we're gonna take it down to our back and we're gonna do our final twist. Right here. So let your toes come to the top of your mat. Gently place yourself down on the mat. Let me get where I'm still in the camera. There we go. All right. Let your arms go out to a T. Take your knees into your chest. As you exhale, your knees are going to go to the right as your chin and your gaze go to the left. Right? If you want to make this more, you can take your right hand, press those knees closer towards the earth. If you have enough space, you can extend your legs, your toes go towards your right fingertips, but that left shoulder staying anchored to the ground. Here, be here. Have those legs extended. That chest open up towards the ceiling. So get that full, deep twist of the spine. Now from here, bring your knees back to center. Then let your knees drop over to the left as your chin and gaze go to the right. Now same thing here. You take that left hand, press the knees closer to the earth, or extend your legs towards your left fingertips. Keep that right shoulder anchored now. We're looking over the right shoulder, letting the chest face the ceiling. We always finish off with these deep twists. They seal off our practice. Let our bodies remember everything they did tonight. So next time we come practice yoga, go everywhere easier, go everywhere deeper. On your next inhale, pull the knees back up to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. We're going to set up for our final pose here, our Shavasana. Right? So let your legs go all the way long now. Take your hands to your sides, palms face down. That's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. If you don't want to take it there, then you don't have to, right? You need to be comfortable. You can bend your knees, let your knees fall in against each other, and come back to those butterfly legs if that feels good. Maybe you need to roll to your side or roll to your belly. Maybe you need to sit up. Just find somewhere to be where you're perfectly comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still. Most importantly, where your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet. If you're here in the studio, come around and give you a little spray for your towel. It's the sandalwood citrus. Sandalwood to relax you. Citrus to keep you energized. That's what I need about this point. Right, so you don't want to fall asleep here. Okay, you want to be able to relax, so let that quiet come to your mind. So once you're in that comfy place, let your breath take over. You don't need to control your breath here. Just notice your breath. Observe your breath. You're letting your breath take over, letting it guide you. When you master that fully, the breath will take you to a place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. And when you get there, that's always your true quiet mind. Slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, take your arms overhead, do a nice full, deep body stretch. If there, just roll over onto your right side in fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there. Just to reacclimate to our space, the sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. Then when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. We will close here. All right, so we're going to close with our 2 Mari breaths and then an Om. The Mari breath, we inhale, so we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of the throat. The Om is the universal syllable. It uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths or you can just listen. Let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this evening. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Great. I will see you guys all on Saturday. If you want more yin, Angie's here tomorrow morning with the yin yang, so come join her. I'll see y'all soon.